Walking around the school garden was my exact definition of peace. I brought a purple flower up to my nose, and then suddenly, I felt my chest tightening. I reached for my inhaler and panicked when I realized I dropped it on the way here. Oh God, was I gonna die? Looking for this? I turned to see Axel, the most attractive guy in school, and he was holding my inhaler. It was the first time he'd ever talked to me. Oh, thank God. Give me that, please. As I was taking some puffs, he kept looking at me, and it made me feel worse instead of better. I looked away and continued calming myself down. When I turned to him again, he was gone. This boy was so mysterious. He'd joined our school a year ago, and no one knew anything about him. Hi, my name is Olivia, and I have a chronic breathing condition called asthma. I wasn't allowed to join any active sports and have some extra fun. Before I continue, please like and subscribe. It was the weekend, and I'd invited my best friend Tori to play golf with me on our private course. I told her what happened yesterday, and she started squealing like a hyena. Oh my God, bestie, maybe he secretly likes you. Nah, he just tried to help me. Well, he never talked to any girl before, so it definitely meant something. So what if it does? He's not my type anyway. He's too mysterious for me. Rumor has it that he has a gang outside, and they love beating people up and burning things down, but that will make your love story even cuter. The title would be The Mafia Boss and His Queen. Ow! Just stop with your Wattpad fantasies already. Suddenly, a private jet landed nearby, and I was shocked to see who came out. Liam. He was my childhood friend who'd moved to Germany when we were 10, and I hadn't seen him in 5 years. I could hardly recognize him. He looked like a prince. He ran to hug me and spun me around. I missed you so much, gorgeous. I missed you too, handsome. Just then, he spotted Tori standing behind me. Why are you playing golf with your maid, Olivia? Liam, she's not... Hey, you. Get me some fresh orange juice, quick. Hello? Do I look like a maid to you? Liam, she's not my maid, and her name is Tori. She's my high school best friend, so please be nice to her. Ah, okay. Whatever. I need to see your mom. We have a lot of catching up to do. As he ran off to our mansion, Tori gave me a disapproving look. This is your childhood best friend? The guy you've been telling me so much about? He sounds like a jerk. He must be tired from the flight. Trust me, he's a nice guy. When I came to school the next day, I saw all the girls gathered in the parking lot. I checked to see what all the chaos was about and saw Liam coming out of his golden chopper with his bodyguards rolling out a red carpet for him. What was he doing here? Morgan, the most annoying brat in the world, accidentally tripped over something invisible right in front of him. Oh my God, my dress! It's worth $237.69 million, and now it's dirty. I need some love and comfort. Liam ignored her and grabbed a megaphone instead. Attention, everyone. Call yourself lucky because I'm joining your school now. And ladies, I know I'm super handsome and irresistible, but unfortunately for you, I'm unavailable. He sounded so pompous. But Morgan and the rest of the female population suddenly looked like depressed vegetables. And they didn't look happy to see him walking down the hallway with me or sitting right next to me during class. But for some reason, all I could think about was Axel's empty seat at the back. Later that day, we had some important exam results being posted on the bulletin board, and I was shocked when I didn't see my name at the top spot. Holy mother of frogs! It was Axel this time. I don't understand. He either sleeps in class or doesn't even attend them, but he's always in the top 5. And now, he's freaking number 1? How is he beating me? Maybe he studies in dark alleys all night after beating someone up. As I turned around, I crashed straight into someone behind me. It was Axel. If you're curious, you only have to ask. Okay then, why don't you tell us? It's a secret. I'll have to come a bit closer. As he bent his head down to my ear, I suddenly felt my heart skip a beat. He brushed a strand of hair away and whispered, I'm just really, really smart. Smarter than you, for sure. I might be smarter than Einstein himself. Gosh, he was so arrogant. I was about to push him away when suddenly Liam did it for me. Who are you? And can you step away from Olivia? I could ask you the same thing, but I'm not interested actually. Axel turned around and left, and Liam looked really annoyed. As I started walking down the hallway, he followed me and asked me out for dinner that night so we could catch up. That sounded nice, and I agreed. He took me to a really fancy restaurant, and we were having a good time. Till our order arrived, and suddenly, Liam started yelling at the waiter.
I ordered a sizzling steak, not your stupidity.
Liam, what are you doing? It looked completely fine. The chef came out and asked us what the problem was.
The steak doesn't sizzle enough, and it's not even the center of the plate. This is the stupidest food presentation I've ever seen. You're fired. Sir, you can't do that. I own this restaurant. My dad owns half the city, and I'm going to have your restaurant shut down for food poisoning. Come, Olivia, we're leaving.
As we stepped outside, I turned to him furiously. Liam, you're unbelievable. How can you talk to people like that?
I can talk to anyone any way I want. Olivia, this was supposed to be a perfect date, and they ruined it. I'm only angry because it meant so much to me.
No one ruined anything except for you. Wait, a date? I thought this was just dinner between friends.
Come on, I told every girl in school that I'm unavailable. And you must know that everyone is expecting us to be together, right? I want it. Our families want it.
But I don't want it. I don't even think of you that way. And who are you to decide things for me?
Why are you being so difficult?
Don't mess things up like this, Liam. I miss the old you, the sweet little boy who used to be my best friend. I want that person back.
I won't just settle for being your friend, Olivia. I'll do anything to be more than that.
And at that moment, I just knew that things would never be the same between us. The next day at the canteen, Tori and I spotted Axel in one corner looking anxious as he talked to someone over the phone. He's probably talking to his advisor. Advisor? For what? Every mafia boss has his own advisor, and they're probably planning on their next victim. I tapped her head to snap her out of her crazy ideas, but my curiosity about Axel grew even more. I wondered what he was really up to whenever he disappeared. As he walked off, I decided to follow him and saw him heading to the library. Now was my chance to see how he studied, but he just spread out his notes, put his head down, and fell asleep. I tiptoed and snuck closer to see those notes and noticed that he had such cute handwriting. Suddenly, a hand grabbed mine, and when I turned my head, our lips almost touched. Was he awake all this time? I just wanted to grab that book next to your notes.
I have a really important question to ask you, Olivia. It's now or never.
Yeah? What is it?
What lotion do you use? Your hands are really soft.
Realizing that he was still holding my hand, I pulled away and came up with the lamest excuse. I really need to pee. Bye! Later that day, I was in the school elevator when he stepped in to join me. Please don't talk about the notes. Please don't talk about the notes.
So, what was your deal with my notes earlier? Still trying to figure out how I'm getting better grades than you?
I told you. I was aiming for that book beside you. He just smirked at me and was about to say something when suddenly Liam slipped in.
There you are. I've been looking for you everywhere.
Suddenly, the elevator broke. Perfect timing. Axel started calling for help while Liam started pestering me.
Why are you ignoring me? Is this about last night? Fine. I'll let that stupid chef go this once.
Could we please focus on the problem right now? We're basically stuck and it's so hot.
Let's make it hotter then.
Without any warning, Liam took off his shirt and I was stunned. When I turned to my right, Axel did the same and holy cheese. If Liam had the body of a fitness instructor, Axel had the body of a Greek god. And I looked like a stupid potato between them. Why did you take off your shirt too?
You're right. It's really hot. I might die of hypothermia and suffocation.
Before I could collapse, the elevator doors finally opened. Oh, thank God. I immediately rushed to the restroom and used my inhaler to calm myself from the traumatic incident. One night, while I was giving out food and cash to some beggars, I spotted someone in a leather jacket exchanging something with a suspicious guy across the street. I realized that it was Axel. I got out of my limo to secretly follow them as they passed through an alley and entered a door that led to a basement. Oh my God, was this their hideout? I was expecting to see a room full of gangsters, but it was the complete opposite. There were nerdy-looking guys solving Rubik's Cubes with super difficult shapes everywhere. I spotted Axel, and he was the only one who looked different. What in the world? I met Axel's eyes across the room, and he looked so shocked to see me that he fell off his chair. He acted like nothing had happened and continued solving his cube, but I couldn't help but smile. He was so cute. After the game, he was awarded second place, but he didn't seem happy about it. He walked up to me with a disappointed face.
I lost by 1.5 seconds because I got distracted when I saw you. It's the 57th Digital Qualifier Next Generation Championship Cup, and I should have won it to complete my badges.
So he was actually a nerd who happened to look like a bad boy? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to follow you. Suddenly, the scariest nerd that I had ever seen charged toward Axel like a raging bull. I bet $5 million on you to win, and I need to get it back, you loser. Get him, guys.
Time to go.
Axel grabbed my hand and dragged me out of the building. We fled on his motorbike, but the nerdy goons kept following us until we reached the countryside. Suddenly, it started raining really hard, and we could hardly see anything. Axel had no choice but to pull over to the nearest waiting shed. Both of us were soaked to the bone as we sat on the single bench. It looks like the rain wasn't stopping tonight, and it was already so late. I called my parents to tell them that I was sleeping at Tori's house so they wouldn't be worried.
I'm sorry you got dragged into all of this.
No, it was my fault. I shouldn't have followed you. You lost the game because of me.
It's fine. There are thousands of upcoming games anyway.
I grabbed the chance to reveal our ridiculous theories about him, and it was my first time seeing him laugh.
So you're telling me that all nerds are supposed to be blind and aren't allowed to wear leather jackets?
It was my first time seeing one.
You're shaking. He must be very cold.
He took his leather jacket off and wrapped it around me, pulling me into a hug.
I hope my body heat can make you feel better.
Yeah, it's helping.
I'm relieved.
Feeling so safe in his arms, I found myself closing my eyes with a smile. When I opened them again, I realized that I'd been asleep on Axel's shoulder for hours. It was morning already. I woke him up and we rushed to the nearest store to buy some decent clothes. We changed into new ones, and as we went to school together, everyone looked stunned. But Liam looked furious. He immediately pulled me aside.
Are you out of your mind? Why did you come with that stupid gangster?
Buzz off, Liam. It's none of your business.
I can't believe you're choosing him over me. We basically grew up together.
Axel suddenly came up to me and handed me my undershirt from last night.
You forgot this in my bag.
Everyone dramatically gasped, and I turned into the ripest tomato. I purposely started coughing to distract everyone, but it only made Liam and Axel race to get my inhaler from my bag.
Back off, man. You back off, idiot.
Suddenly, Morgan jumped in between them. Boys, stop fighting over that trash with stupid lungs. I'm right here. One of you can have me. I'll take either of you. Both the boys ignored her and continued glaring at each other. Okay, that's enough. I'm not a damsel in distress who needs constant saving. I'm totally fine. Tori couldn't stop teasing me about everything that happened. I'm loving the fact that two hotties are fighting over you, but I'm Team Axel, obviously. Liam is the villain in this story. Tori, I swear to God, my life is not a cheesy fan fiction. Seems like it anyway. She then walked away with a teasing smile. In the following days, Axel and I started hanging out, and it drove Liam even crazier. But I didn't care. I was really having fun with him. He even introduced me to his friends at their club. One time, I tried to touch his favorite cube, but he panicked.
Be careful. You have to hold it gently. It's the 6th generation fully functional limited edition cube.
God, he was such a hot nerd. Don't worry, I'll handle it with care. And then, I surprised him by solving it in less than a minute.
Brains and beauty? You're really something else, Olivia.
Suddenly, Liam appeared out of nowhere and challenged him.
Let's have a polo match, tomorrow after school. 1-on-1. The winner can date Olivia, while the loser should back off. Forever.
Are you out of your mind? I'm not a freaking trophy for a stupid competition. To my surprise, Axel replied,
See you tomorrow then.
As Liam walked off, I turned to Axel angrily, but he took my hand.
It's the only way for him to back off. I promise, I'll win this.
Okay, but be careful. I don't trust Liam to play fair. I was their only audience the next day, and I was a bundle of nerves. Minutes into the game, Axel was already being Liam's butt effortlessly.
Are you ready to lose? Ask that to yourself, idiot.
To my surprise, Liam suddenly hit Axel's horse with his mallet, causing it to panic and throw him off. Liam then grabbed the chance to hit the ball and shoot it at the goal. He then came up to me and smirked.
You're mine now, whether you like it or not.
Over my dead body, Liam. You're not my best friend anymore. You're a monster.
A very sexy and attractive monster.
Axel got up and glared at him.
You clearly cheated. This is not fair. We never had any rules, loser.
Axel lunged forward to attack Liam, who suddenly snapped his fingers, and his bodyguard dragged Axel away. And I felt even angrier. Do you really think all this is helping you win me over? You're just making me dislike you more.
What do you think your parents would say if they learned their little princess is dating a gangster?
Where's your proof? Axel is a decent guy, and he's also a genius.
You really like him, don't you?
Finally, you got the hint.
We'll see about that.
The next day, I was surprised to see the whole school in a total mess. The walls were all ruined with spray paint, and half the lockers had been smashed. The principal was fuming. He checked the surveillance footage, and we were all shocked to see who the culprit was. Axel. It couldn't be.
I knew it. He couldn't accept the fact that I beat him in a game yesterday, so he threw a little tantrum.
Suddenly, Morgan clung to Axel's arm.
You could have destroyed me instead, Axel babe, and I would have thanked you for it.
Girl, have some dignity, and eat this to fill your empty brain. Axel turned to me and said,
You know I couldn't do this, Olivia.
Of course. Only idiots would believe that footage. Unfortunately, the principal was one of them. He immediately suspended Axel, and seeing Liam grinning made my blood boil. Obviously, he had framed Axel, but I had to find some proof first. Later that night, I sneaked through Liam's window and hid inside his closet. Soon, he entered his room with a guy who was wearing the same outfit and hairstyle as Axel, and they were talking about how they had set him up this morning. I knew it! I made a video of the whole thing, and just then I bumped into something and made a loud sound. And the next second, the closet door flew open, and Liam turned into a psycho.
You little witch! Give me your phone, or else.
He was about to hurt me when his parents suddenly barged in. I showed them the video and told them about Liam's behavior, and they were very disappointed.
You're gonna regret this, Olivia. You'll see.
To teach him a lesson, his parents cut off his allowance and put him on a plane back to Germany. I was sad because I'd lost my childhood friend, but he just wasn't the same guy anymore. And now I could finally focus on Axel. I headed to their club, but he wasn't there. I didn't find him at his mansion either. I tried calling him on his phone, but there wasn't any signal. Where was he? What if Liam did something to him before leaving? Feeling so worried, I suddenly had a hard time breathing, but I couldn't find my inhaler anywhere.
Looking for this?
I turned to see Axel, and he was holding my inhaler. I ran to him with happy tears. I thought something bad had happened to you.
I'm sorry if I got you worried. I just got busy doing something.
He brought me up to his room, and I was shocked when he unveiled a huge painting-like Rubik's Cube with my face on it. Axel, this is just amazing.
Olivia, I've liked you since the first time I laid my eyes on you, but I was too scared to get close to you because I knew I'd just fall for you. And well, I did.
So what are you waiting for? He responded by finally kissing me, and it felt surreal.
I love you.
I love you too. Suddenly, Tori stepped into the room and started jumping like a monkey. I knew it! Wait, had she been following me? Axel and I just chuckled at her craziness. Hi, my name is Farah and I'm from Egypt. Please like and subscribe. I was born in the wealthiest household in our town, and I was raised by my single mom, who I absolutely adored. Mom had an untreatable eye condition, and even with her special glasses, she could only see partly. But that wasn't Mom's biggest problem. Her biggest weakness was that she had a heart of gold, and she trusted everyone blindly. Like once when I was 6, I'd just come back from school when I found a woman in a wheelchair weeping in our garden, and Mom was crying too. What's wrong, Mom?
Oh, this poor woman. She lost her house in a fire, and she can't even work because her leg got burned. Go get my checkbook, honey.
I looked over at the woman as she quickly pulled down her skirt, and I instantly felt suspicious. I leapt forward and pulled her skirt back. Her skin isn't burnt, Mom. That's Play-Doh. She's just making a fool out of you. The woman suddenly leapt up from the wheelchair and ran at the speed of light. Growing up, I started noticing that many people tried to fool Mom because everyone in town knew about her eyesight and her soft heart. Well, they weren't getting away with it. Not on my watch. Life was going good. Till one day in 9th grade, I was running outside my house when suddenly I bumped straight into a woman and she fell down. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see you. But she just pushed me aside and started walking to my house. Hey, why are you going to my house? I already said I'm sorry. There's no need to create a scene. But she just started banging on the door loudly and pushed the servant aside to let herself in. I was about to yell at her when suddenly Mom appeared in the hallway and the woman ran to her shouting,
Oh, my dear cousin, it's been so long since I've seen you.
Cousin?
Jamel, is that really you? Wow, we haven't met in a decade. Yes, it's me. Oh, cousin, I've suffered so much since we last met. My husband divorced me, and I have no money. I've just recently moved here to look for work. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Jamel. I can hire you as a cleaner and a cook if you want. And you must not waste money on rent. There's a small cottage in the backyard that's empty.
Oh my God, what was Mom doing?
Oh, I wouldn't dream of being a burden on you.
Yes, that's right, you shouldn't.
But since you're insisting and I really care about you, I'll shift immediately to look after your home.
Once the woman left, I tried reasoning with Mom, but she insisted that she had to help her cousin. And before I knew it, she was moving in with her things. It turned out that she also had a daughter my age named Samar. Mom invited the two for dinner on their first day, and Samar just avoided making eye contact, and she wouldn't utter a word.
My poor baby, she's just been through so much. Her dad left without even saying goodbye to her, and she's really taken it to heart.
She did look quite sad, and I felt sorry for her. I tried talking to her a few times, but she'd always run off like a scared rabbit. Jamel Auntie started working at our house, and I had to admit, she was an excellent cook. She was really bossy and took over all the chores, but Mom didn't seem to mind. For some reason, she even seemed to enjoy Jamel Auntie's company, so I stayed quiet. A few days before the end of summer vacation, I was reading one of my new course books when I caught Samar staring at me, and Jamel Auntie suddenly spoke.
Oh, Farah, how lucky you are. I've always wanted to send Samar to a really good school, but it's never been possible. Things got so bad last year that I just took her out.
Samar isn't enrolled in school?
Why didn't you say so before? I'll have her admitted to Farah's school first thing tomorrow. Oh, you've already done so much for us.
Yes, Mom. I'm sure Samar can go to a good public school with Jamal Auntie's salary.
But since you think of Samar like your own daughter, of course I can't say no.
Ugh, this woman. I knew that she was just taking advantage of Mom, but I felt like a brat saying Mom shouldn't send Samar to my school, so I let it go. Maybe it would be good for her. All the way to school, Samar was silent, and I was sure she must be nervous. But when we entered the classroom, suddenly she tossed her bag onto a table, flipped her hair back, and climbed onto a chair. Hey guys, you must all be wondering who the new pretty girl is, right? I'm Samar, and I can't wait to be friends with y'all. I stared at her in shock. What just happened to the scared, shy girl at home? I decided to confront her during recess, and I found her in the cafeteria sitting right next to frickin' Marwa. Marwa was the meanest girl in class and my biggest racing rival. And now she seemed to be Samar's best friend. I walked up to Samar, grabbed her arm, and dragged her off to a corner. Would you mind explaining your sudden transformation? Why have you been acting like a mouse at home all this time? Because I love acting, and I was playing the role of a sad, poor little girl. Fooled you, didn't I? You seem mental to me. And just stay away from Marwa. She's not a nice person. She's my biggest enemy. But she's not my enemy. And with that, she just turned around and left. I was still in shock. Who was this girl? Later that day during sports class, I was out on the racing track practicing for a big game when suddenly I slipped over some marbles and came crashing to the ground. That's when I spotted Marwa and her gang laughing their heads off. You're so pathetic, Marwa. Trying to get me out of the race so I can't beat you? Wow, you're such a genius. And yeah, all I care about is winning. I don't care how I do it. I felt so mad that I picked up a football lying nearby and threw it straight at her face. Suddenly, all the kids on the ground got divided into two teams, mine and Marwa's, and we started throwing balls at each other. And it made me so mad to see Samar attacking me the most enthusiastically. Such a snake! We were all called to the principal's office and got detention for a week. But when we got home and Mom asked Samar how her first day was, she just went back to her fake personality and only smiled and nodded silently. Oh my God! Stop doing that, you psycho! Go on, tell Mom how you're already friends with a bully. And Mom, she speaks just fine too. This is all acting. Samar's lips started to shake and she burst into tears.
Farah, maybe you think my daughter isn't good enough to go to your school, but you don't have to treat her this way. She's been through a lot.
Cut it out, Jamal Auntie. You must know the truth about her too.
That's enough, Farah. I didn't raise you to be a bully. Look at the poor child. She's so upset.
But Mom...
Not another word. Just go to your room, please.
I stormed off, feeling furious. Did Mom have to be so blind? Having those two in my life was becoming almost unbearable. It was bad enough having Samar in my class, and at home, Jamal Auntie had started acting like she owned the place. Once I was sleeping late on the weekend, and suddenly someone pulled my bedsheet from under me, making me land on the floor. It was Jamal Auntie and Samar. What do you think you're doing? I have a load of laundry, and I can't wait for your highness any longer. Have you forgotten that you work here? Yeah, I do what I like. But one day, she went too far. Mom and I had gone out, and when we got back home, we found her shouting at my old nanny. Go away now. Shoo!
I know you've just come begging for money. It doesn't grow on trees, you know. You poor people are like blood-sucking mosquitoes.
I felt furious, and for once, Mom got really mad too. Jamel, she's Farah's old nanny, and she's always welcome here. You cannot turn away my guests and talk to them that way. I'm the mistress of this house, not you. And suddenly, Jamal Auntie fell down to the ground and started wailing loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear.
I'm the one who cooks for you. I clean your stinky toilets. I sweep, I mop, I wash your dirty undies. And you're talking to me this way? A poor widow who slaves all day long for you, your own cousin.
I was sure Mom would kick her out now. But instead, Mom looked scared and she started apologizing to Aunt until she calmed down. Once she left, I turned to Mom angrily. Mom, are you crazy? Tell her to leave. Why are you putting up with this toxic woman?
Farah, she's my cousin, and she is a poor widow. I can't just throw her out. And she's a really good worker, too.
But she's ruling over our lives, Mom.
So she's a little bossy and controlling. It's okay. I'll talk to her nicely when she's less upset.
Unbelievable! I was still in a bad mood the next day, and I decided to blow off some steam by running. But when I got to the playground, suddenly a football hit me in the head out of nowhere. Ow! Someone held out a hand to me, and I looked up to see a boy.
I'm so sorry. I didn't do it on purpose.
When he saw that I was having trouble getting up, he suddenly swept me up in his arms. What do you think you're doing? Put me down.
I was just trying to help you.
I didn't ask for it. He put me down and I pushed him aside and walked away. What a weirdo. But after that day, I seemed to notice him everywhere, and he always seemed to be watching me. One day, I was putting my things in the locker when I caught him peeping at me from behind the wall. I got so annoyed that I went up to him and grabbed him by the collar. What do you want, weirdo? I've had enough of your stares. But just then, Marwa appeared with Samar out of nowhere and pushed me aside. How dare you touch my cousin?
Marwa, it's okay. It isn't her fault.
Cousin? He's your cousin? Yeah, he's Marwa's cousin and my close friend.
Your friend? Since when?
Now it makes sense why he's a creep. He's related to you, Marwa. Saying that, I walked off. I found out that his name was Ahmed, and he had recently joined our school as a senior. Now that I knew he was Marwa's cousin, I had all the more reason to avoid him completely. A few days later, our sports coach told us about a citywide running competition, and the winner had a chance to join the national team. Of course, I signed up immediately, and Marwa wasn't far behind. But I wasn't worried about her, just even more determined to win. I started preparing for it, and every time I was out on the track practicing, Ahmed would be watching me from behind the bleachers and cheering me on.
Yeah! Go, Farah, go! You're the fastest!
He didn't even seem to be bothered by the death glares Marwa and Samar gave him, but he still made me so angry that I wanted to punch him in the face. Why was this crazy guy cheering for me? We weren't even friends. One day, I completed my track in just 3 minutes, which was a record. The coach patted my back while Marwa looked defeated, Samar looked mad, and Ahmed just looked happy. He congratulated me, and I just couldn't stay mad at him anymore. We became friends, and I really liked his company. We hung out often after school, and I could talk to him for hours. He proved me wrong. He wasn't like his cousin at all. One day after watching a movie with Ahmed, I came home and walked into my room to find Samar there trying on my dresses. How dare you touch my clothes without even asking me? This home and everything in it is as much mine as it is yours. No, it's not. Your mom is a maid here and you're the maid's daughter, yet somehow your mom is completely under my mom's thumb. I wouldn't be surprised if one day you two end up cooking and cleaning for us. I know you two are evil snakes, and I will never let you take over my home. How can you stop us? You don't have anyone on your side. No, not even Ahmed. You think he's actually interested in you, Farah? Oh, I see the way you look at him, and you're just jealous that he doesn't even notice you. And with that, I pushed her out of my room and locked the door. I had to find a way to get rid of these two really soon. But I pushed all thoughts of them out of my head to focus on the competition, which was just 2 days away. On the day of the race, I was warming up at the venue when suddenly Ahmed came running to me, looking worried and breathless.
Farah, does Samar live at your house?
Yeah, she does. Why?
I just heard Samar telling Marwa that after you left, your moms had a big fight, and Samar's mom threw chili powder in your mom's eyes.
What? Without a second thought, I ran as fast as I could and went home. I was going to kill this woman. But when I got there, I saw through the window that Mom was peacefully watching TV. She seemed to be perfectly fine. Oh my God, Ahmed had lied to me to make me miss the competition? With angry tears flowing down my face, I went back to the venue, and the minute I spotted Ahmed, I slapped him hard in the face. So, all this time, you just pretended to be my friend so you could fool me? You lied to me about my mom so your cousin could win?
What? I didn't lie, Farah.
I just stormed off, refusing to hear another word. I'd always thought Mom was foolish for trusting people, and now I'd done just that. Trusting Marwa's cousin was a huge mistake. I found out that Marwa had won the competition, and I left there immediately. I couldn't bear to see her win the trophy. When I got home, I didn't feel like going inside and seeing anyone. I was sitting on the swing in my garden when I heard Samar behind me. It's so much fun to be surrounded by a bunch of fools. What are you talking about? I mean, why is everyone so stupid? It was so easy to make Ahmed believe the lie about your mom. And you were foolish enough to believe him too. What? So he didn't make it up? It was you? Duh, you're as stupid as your mom.
Now wait and watch as we take over your house, Farah. I think I could easily make my blind cousin sign it over to me one day.
You're right. I have been stupid and blind, but not anymore. We all turned around to see Mom standing behind us, looking like an angry dragon. She slapped Jamal auntie hard and threatened to get a restraining order against her. Then she had the servants throw out their belongings immediately in the street. Mom hugged me tight and apologized for not believing me earlier. I forgave her instantly as I hugged her back. I was so glad to be rid of those evil creatures, and it was just me and Mom again. The next day I went to school and looked everywhere for Ahmed, and I finally found him sitting alone in the bleachers. I ran up to him and hugged him from behind. Oh, Ahmed, I'm so sorry. I know now that you never lied to me, and I should have trusted you. Please, forgive me. And suddenly, Ahmed put a finger on my lips and drew me close to kiss me. It felt amazing.
Did you read the news today?
No, why?
The competition got canceled. The judges found out that Marwa used some illegal energy booster and she was disqualified immediately. You have another shot at it, Farah.
I screamed with joy and kissed him again. And a week later, I participated in the competition and won. As I stood on the stage with the winner's trophy, my heart almost burst with joy seeing Mom and Ahmed cheering me on.